hearing, remembering, understanding, but not yet practicing by Thich. Under the evening sky by the Niralanjara river. Beloved disciples, here today on the Buddha's land, under the soft gold of sunset along the Niralanjara river, where the world-honored one once bathed after 6 years of ascetic struggle. I wish to speak a few words like a breeze gliding over a stream. It leaves no trace, yet if you listen deeply, the waters within will become clear. During this pilgrimage, I have heard many Dharma talks. I see people writing every word, eyes shining with devotion. Many discuss subtle doctrines, non-self, dependent origination, the middle path of 8 negations. Yet when I ask, have you practiced? The answer often is, I am still studying to practice correctly. I smile for still studying to practice. Is that slippery wooden bridge so many have walked forever, yet never crossed to the shore of liberation. The Buddha said, he who delights in words but forgets practice is like one counting another's treasure. Long ago, at Jetavana Grove, the Buddha addressed 500 monks, some masters of scripture and debate, others eloquent preachers admired by the crowds, knowing their minds still clung to sound and praise. A poor man counting another's gold, all his life gains, not a single coin. To hear, to remember, to understand is counting. To practice is possessing. Without practice, one is a lamp lighting the way for others while sitting in darkness oneself. The ocean of Dharma is not for those standing on the shore. The Buddha's teaching was not given for study alone, but for transformation. The Buddhas do not speak to be praised. They speak so beings may realize within their own hearts. Hearing without practice is knowledge without wisdom. One may hear 1,000 teachings and understand countless doctrines. Yet if the mind has never rested even once in stillness, one still stands outside the gate of Zen, like one describing waves and salt while never having dipped a toe in the sea. In Mukthien Tut Bauhiant Mon, the Master reminds, the Dharma is not in words, it is life fully lived in mindful awareness. If you only enjoy explaining mantras without reciting them, analyze meditation without sitting in it, delight in hearing the Dharma without entering concentration, you are building a stupa in the clouds. Enlightenment does not arise from speech. At Vulture Peak, a Brahmin once asked the Buddha, "What is the supreme truth?" The Buddha sat in silence. After a long pause, he said, "If I speak, you will not understand. If I stay silent, you will not perceive. Because you only want to hear words, not release the mind." That is the esoteric language of meditation, the true mantra. Dharma is not for explanation, but for realization. To hear much, know much, yet not calm the heart, is like a thirsty man reading the formula of water. Esoteric Zen, single-minded practice. Mukthien is not merely chanting, invoking, or visualizing sacred forms. It is complete attention, one-pointed concentration, mind merged into non-duality. Huant Morn opens only when the heart is desireless and action is formless. If you only listen and analyze without sitting still in your own breath, Mukthien remains a beautiful idea, not a path of liberation. The 7 treasures already lie within you, but if you only gaze at the jewel through your teacher's words without polishing it through practice, the jewel remains hidden in dust. The Buddha said in the Dhammapada, "Though one recites many scriptures, if one does not practice, such a person is like a herdsman of others' cattle, not partaking of the milk of a true monk." So I do not wish for you to remember my words, only to live them. not to explain the mantra, but to dwell within each syllable, not to analyze meditation, but to breathe one complete mindful breath.
Remembering, understanding, practicing. To hear is to sow the seed. To remember is to water the seed. To understand is to let it sprout. But without practice, the plant will die young. The Dharma does not end at knowing, it begins with direct experience. One single teaching lived fully can shatter ignorance more than 1,000 learned commentaries. In the Buddha's time, a monk once heard only one line: all conditioned things are impermanent. He went beneath a tree, contemplated for 7 days, and attained arhatship. Today, people hear hundreds of sermons, watch thousands of videos, memorize the Buddha's names, yet still burn with anger and sink in sorrow. Why? Because they have heard the Dharma but have not lived it. The Master's teaching under the Bodhi tree. At Bodhgayā, beneath the sacred tree, when the breeze moved the leaves softly, I told the assembly, the Buddha's Dharma is not in the sound of bells nor in sermons. It is found in those who quietly listen to their own breath. You bowed to the Buddha, touching your foreheads to the earth. In that moment I saw many moved, but few truly settled. The Buddha does not want your tears. He wants your peace within those tears. The Dharma is not for emotional thrill, but for liberation, not to satisfy curiosity, but to extinguish it. When craving for knowing ceases, true knowing appears. Mindfulness is not for those who love discussion, but for those who dare to be silent. Not for lovers of words, but for those who can die into the first thought. If you have heard, remembered, and understood, be grateful. But next, practice, live it, let it sink into your heart. Do not mistake joy in sermons for awakening. That is but the scent of the flower, not the fragrance of realization. Return. Take one deep breath. Begin again. No need to understand. Only know that you are alive in this breath. At that moment, you are meditating, chanting, and entering the mysterious gate. That is true Mindfulness, not in sound, but in the silence of knowing mind. The Master smiled. The assembly fell silent. Body leaves quivered, as if the Buddha nodded in the wind.